who the hell knows with these things? It seems like there's no real rhyme or reason. But I mean, if there ever was a case for an appeal, he's got it. He 100% has it. He's also, unfortunately, probably been robbed of millions of dollars, because if he wins that fight, the rematch is even bigger. Now, to his point, there's a rematch clause that Gervonta...
Sure, but I actually understand why the New York State Athletic Commission did not want to overturn the results. Basically, they're saying that rounds 10, 11, and 12, they don't know how Gervonta Davis and even Lamont Roach would have adjusted to their fighting strategies and all that if a knockdown had been scored. Obviously, that changes the trajectory of the fight when you have...
Tank stepped into the ring against Lamont Roach expecting another night of dominance. But instead he walked away with more controversy than victory. Since then, Tank has met a fair share of backlash from the fight, with fans telling him that he should have lost. But it doesn't stop here. With the legal issues currently on his table, we might see him leaving the sport soon.
We did it. They upheld the draw, but they said the referee should have counted as a knockdown. So they said it was a knockdown, but they wasn't going to change the decision.
But to be fair, this doesn't come as a surprise, since Tank had already predicted 2025 would be his final year in boxing. Just that right now, it might not be his choice. From the start of the fight, Tank's confidence was on full display, telling Roach outright, "You're not going to win," as if he had already decided the outcome. But when the fight went the full distance, it became clear that things had not played out the way he envisioned. And that's what has brought around all the heat to his corner. Look at this.
How they go off of Gervonta Davis taking a knee and then going midway, Steve Willis, doing the 4 count and then stops it.
That was crazy.
And then they allow it, and then they call it a draw, and then they say they try to overturn it, but they can't overturn it. It's already done. The gig is up. And then they keep it a draw, but they change the rules.
If I'm a boxer, if I get dropped, I'm gonna tell the ref to stop.
Yeah.
Tank did it.
Yeah.
Hey, stop. No.
Yeah, you gotta finish that count.
Yeah.
When Floyd got hurt, he hurt his hand, and one of his hands he touched. I don't even think he touched the canvas, but they started right away, giving him the 8 count, giving him a 10 count at least. He beat it. But this is my problem with today's sport of boxing, is that everyone's changing their sanctioning rules, and they make them, and they create them. But
the judges ruled the fight a draw, and while Davis might have been content to leave it at that, Roach's team had other ideas. Almost immediately, Roach's camp pushed for the result to be overturned, arguing that their fighter had done more than enough to secure the win. However, after reviewing the case, the commission ultimately decided that the draw would stand. That ruling should have closed the book on the matter. But Roach's team wasn't ready to let it go. Instead, they turned their focus to a different argument, one that could have serious consequences for Davis midway. Through the fight, Tank did something that had fans, analysts, and now the commission raising their eyebrows. After taking a knee, he called for a towel, essentially signaling for a timeout. That is not how boxing works, and the rules are clearly written and told to the fighters before the fight.
Rinse back in. Don't throw anything into the ring. Need my attention for anything, go through the inspectors. Okay. Just another fight. Just another fight. No need to get too deep about it. Just another fight. All right. Been here before. Know what it's all about. So I'll see you.
There are no timeouts, no pauses for breathers. When a fighter takes a knee, it is up to the referee to make a count and determine if they can continue. And this is another base of the whole legal heat coming at Tank. According to Lamont Roach's lawyers, Tank did something in the ring that shouldn't happen and was never held accountable to them. This just shows how awful the sport is, favoring the top fighters. Their argument lies on Tank being one of the fans' favorite, cannot get a harsh ruling to maintain the fan base to them. Tank should face the consequences of his actions, even if it means revoking his boxing license.
And that should have been an 8 count. The ref is a very professional ref. He's one of the best in the world. But he made a big mistake right there. You know, he helped the star. And when you know who the star is and who you're protecting, you still have to be fair, man. You still have to be fair because Roach walked away with the draw, but he should have been champion right now. And even though they already promised him a rematch, they already told him, I'm pretty sure they already told him how much he's gonna make in the rematch. He's still not a champion right now, and he should. Sometimes fighters prefer being a world champion than getting the big purse, because being a world champion is something special to them. And, you know, even though Roach is already a world champion at 130, but moving up to being a two division champion, beating somebody like Tank is huge for him, for his career, for his family, for his trainer, for everybody. I think that should have been a
And if there's anyone who has been adding on to this, it's Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, never want to stay quiet on boxing controversies, has again weighed in on the situation during an appearance on the Ring Champs with AK and Bark podcast. He did not hold back criticizing Davis for his performance against Roach and questioning the legitimacy of the result. Tank did what he usually does, give away the rounds, and Lamont always had an answer for everything. Garcia said anytime Tank even had a little sense of trying to pick it up, Roach always came back. And I felt like he boxed perfectly for me. For Garcia, the real issue is not just the scoring, is the way Tank fought. He believed Tank lacked aggression, and that Roach had figured him out, making it a fight that should have had a different outcome.
When I'm not sharp here, you know, anything can happen.
Yo, Ryan, what did you think about the knockdown? The knockdown with Tank?
That was a knockdown, you know, without a doubt. You can't spin it no other way. It's too clear. And I think the commission needs to do something about it, because it can give me an incentive, you know, anytime I'm not feeling good in a fight, take a knee.
Well, they said
and that's not a shot at Tank. I respect Tank, and I like Tank a lot.
More importantly, he called on the commission to take action over the knee incident. I thought Lamont won. Garcia continued. And I think the commission does need to do something with that knee, because if they don't, then all of us are going to think we could take a knee. Anytime we want, they got to do something about it. I mean, they did something about me. You got to do something about other people. Rules are rules, right? With the controversy growing, Lamont Roach Jr. also spoke out, though his approach was more measured. Applause. Evenity appearing. On the Come and Talk to Me podcast, he defended Davis's skills, but made sure to emphasize that the fight had been a real test for both men. I definitely want people to know that he was on his aim that night. Roach said just because he didn't live up to expectations doesn't mean he fought a bad fight. People saying he's trash now and overrated. He's a good fighter. While it may have sounded like a show of respect, there is an underlying message in Roach's words. He needs people to believe that he has faced the best version of Tank Davis, not a fighter on the decline. If the narrative shifts to Tank losing a step, it will take away from what Roach had music accomplished.
Yeah, he got lucky at the draw. He did a good fight though. I thought he won it, but man, you gotta just create more action. That's a sparring session as far as I'm concerned. But god damn, that's not the Gervonta I know.
So while he defended Davis's ability, it was clear that he wanted to keep the spotlight on his own performance. Meanwhile, outside opinions continue to pour in. Promoter Eddie Hearn spoke out, arguing that Davis should not be disqualified over the incident, but public perception was already turning against him. If the commission let him off too easily, it would only fuel accusations of favoritism. On the other hand, if they punished him too harshly, it could be seen as an overreaction. Either way, Tank was now stuck in a situation where there was no easy way out.
The fight, we had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night. And I just feel like hopefully this.
And just when it seemed like things could not get any more complicated, Jon Jones entered the conversation. The UFC legend, widely considered one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, made a surprising offer to Davis. The two have met before, which had already caused some talk in the combat sports. But now it seems that Jon Jones had something else to say following all the legal troubles behind Tank. In a video that quickly made the rounds on social media, Jones invited Tank to step into the world of MMA, even offering to personally train him. When are we going to get you in the cage, Jones asked Davis. I'll teach you myself, man. I'll teach you how to grapple, jiu-jitsu, all that, a little wrestling. It'll be easy for you. Bro, those hands right. There ain't nobody trying to see them. Oh man, you got so much time. I see super fights in your future. Bro, nobody wants any problems with you, my guy.
What's up, King? How are you, boss? Man, it's nice to meet you, man. You working hard, huh? How you get that power, bruh? Where that power come from? God given? I knew it. I knew it. God bless you, man. Time to shake your hand. Yes, sir. Goes, man.
It was a bold move, but perhaps not an unexpected one. Jones has long been an advocate for crossover fights. And with Davis now facing serious trouble in boxing, the idea of a fresh start in MMA could suddenly become more appealing. And while Tank did not commit to anything outright, his response raised eyebrows. Let's do it, he said. I'm willing to do it. That single statement set off a wave of speculation. If Davis truly considered stepping into MMA, it would be one of the biggest combat sports crossovers in recent memory. And with Dana White openly talking about bringing the UFC's business model into boxing, the timing of it all could not be more interesting.
We have just done a deal to start a new boxing league with Turkey, who absolutely loves the sport of boxing.
I am very happy today. I give the flag of boxing to the best man who can handle it. He have a tough job now, but I am sure he will be delivering to the people and the fans the magnificent league and get boxing great again.
The model is proven to deliver the fights that the fans want to see. The best will fight the best, and the fighters will continue to move up the rankings and become world champions. We will continue to make announcements on where you can watch and all.
But perhaps the only reason they can't do away with Tank is the amount of fights in the line for him. First, the rematch with Roach is now more than just an idea. It's a necessity. Had the referee ruled Davis's knee a knockdown, Lamont Roach Jr. would have walked away with a career-defining victory, and the boxing world wouldn't be in an uproar. But that didn't happen, and now the only way to settle this is by running it back. And this was already mandatory in case of a draw of a loss for Tank.
And the fact that I do watch him fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like boxing.
Are you open to immediate rematch?
In my contract, immediate rematch was signed. I signed for the immediate rematch when I signed for the first fight.
Right.
Just in case he lost or just in case it was a draw.
So when you got to
According to reports, both camps are already on board with a potential date set for June 21st in Las Vegas. The fact that it's happening this soon speaks volumes about the demand for clarity. There's no belt dispute here, no mandatory obligations, just an unshakable sense that the fight needs a definitive ending. But what makes this rematch even more intriguing is how the perception of Davis has shifted since their first encounter. Before their initial fight, Roach Jr. was viewed as an overachieving underdog. Now he's the man many believe should have already beaten Davis, and that changes everything. Fighters who are supposed to lose but show they can hang often come back in rematches with even more confidence. And that's exactly what Roach is banking on this time. He won't have to fight for respect. He already earned it now. He just needs to close the show.
Tank want a rematch. Do you let me know now? Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he open to do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in DC.
Meanwhile, Davis is in an unfamiliar position. He's no longer the clear favorite. His performance against Roach Jr. raised legitimate concerns about whether his best days are behind him. And even among his supporters, there's doubt creeping in. The idea that Davis could be slowing down isn't just coming from fans, it's spreading among fighters. Too undefeated prospect Julian Gonzalez, who initially expected Davis to dominate, has changed his stance. I think I had Lamont Roach. I'm not going to lie, Gonzalez admitted. But I wasn't mad at the draw. I'm a rock with Lamont. Though it's hard. Lamont surprised me a lot, so I'm with Lamont. And we could understand why Lamont Roach is now already a threat to Tank. Tank knows it too, and maybe that's why he was hesitating to talk about the rematch.
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next. You might see it in a minute.
Gonzalez isn't alone. Many in the boxing world who once viewed Davis as a near invincible force now see cracks in his armor. The aura of invincibility that made him so feared is beginning to fade, and Roach Jr. has positioned himself as the fighter capable of breaking it completely. But the real question is, how will Davis respond if he truly felt that Roach Jr. was never on his level? This should be the perfect opportunity to prove it if he's still the same knockout artist who made his name by dismantling opponents. Then the rematch should be his to win. But if Roach Jr. is as good as he showed the first time, if he really has Davis figured out, then this fight might be the one that confirms what many are starting to believe, that Tank is no longer the same fighter he once was.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out his eye, he had to wipe sweat out his eye. But the rules do state, if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic hit. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there.
Lamont Roach Jr. has not been letting up, and neither are the fans. The controversy from his fight against Tank Davis refuses to die down, and Roach is making sure it stay front and center. While the official result was a majority draw, Roach has spent the past few weeks making it clear he believes he won, and he's not backing off that stance since the fight. Roach has been everywhere, appearing on major podcasts, engaging with the media, and keeping the pressure on both Davis and the Boxing Commission. Every interview, every post, and every comment has been designed to fuel the conversation. But this week he took things a step further, going straight at Tank's fan base with this viral post that stirred up even more music debate. Within hours, the post had racked up over 215,000 views, and within 2 days it had more than 425 comments, most of them coming from Davis supporters who weren't happy with Roach's confidence. It's classic fight promotion, and Roach knows exactly what he's doing by calling out Tank's fans directly. He's ensuring that this narrative doesn't die down anytime soon. The more people argue about the decision, the more pressure builds for the rematch. And from the way things are looking, Roach is playing the long game, keeping himself in the spotlight and making sure that by the time the rematch happens, the energy is at an all-time high.
All the talk throughout the years, what you would do against somebody like Tank, your style versus his, was that not the blueprint? And can you not do 10x that?
I'm not even going to show her, but look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision?
I don't know.
Okay.
We still got to see each other. He say you want to fight me, so we going to fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You thought Lamont won. Got you.
Of course, Davis's fans weren't going to let that slide. They flooded the comments, some mocking Roach for crying over a draw, and others reminding him that in their eyes he didn't do enough to take the belt. But Roach clearly anticipated that response. This isn't just about defending his case, it's about stirring the pot, keeping his name in the headlines, and making sure that when he steps into the ring with Davis again, people are watching for more than just the fight. Roach has successfully shifted the conversation. It's no longer just about whether or not the knee should have been a knockdown or whether Tank did enough to secure a win. Now, it's about whether Roach is right to be this confident, whether he really did expose Tank, and whether the rematch will finally provide the answers that fans on both sides are looking for. But if Roach is being honest, he has already shaken up the sport. That's why his life is already changing.